Today we're going to be taking a closer look at the casino slot machine video card. So if you're new here and this is the first time you're seeing anything about this, I made a video a couple of weeks ago. It's not like big channel views, but it's gotten like 35,000 views at this point, which I've never gotten that kind of interaction on a video before. And there's been a lot of questions, a lot of just a lot of nonsense as well. And there's also been a lot of statements of, oh, well, you know, you only tested it on Fortnite. Fortnite doesn't mean anything. So we're going to take a closer look at the video card so you can kind of get an idea of what we're working with here. And we're going to play with my new little toy here. I thought this might be a fun interactive use of the turntable. I really bought this for getting beauty shots of cards, but I thought it would be, as I said before, a fun interactive use of the turntable. So, and we're also going to take a look at some games as well. So, what we're looking at here, this card right here, is the Radeon Pro W5500. It is an 8 gigabyte RDNA 1 based video card. It is effectively the professional version, the workstation version of the RX 5500. Interestingly enough, I've got Tech Power Up pulled up over here. According to Tech Power Up's data, it actually performs ever so slightly faster oh, you know what though? They didn't specify on games. They just listed relative performance. So their relative performance chart puts it slightly faster than the RX 5500 XT. But it would not surprise me if the actual numbers put it slightly below, because typically workstation cards, because they're not optimized for games, will score a little bit lower than a comparable gaming designed GPU on a similar game. It's just typically the way it is, except in situations where you have the workstation card just has a massive amount of extra video RAM, and the game actually needs that video RAM. Then you'll see that change a little bit. But so the most interesting thing about the W5500. So this is actually a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 950, which is a very small card. It's typically smaller than most gaming cards are today. You typically won't see a gaming card as small as this. Maybe I guess the 50 series cards are kind of small. I take that back. No, I guess 50 series are probably a little bit bigger than this. This is like a true straight up 2-slot card in the traditional sense, whereas the newer ones tend to be a little bit bigger and bulkier. But the cool thing with this, it's basically half the size of the 950. Maybe a little less, maybe half and a third. The other cool thing with the W5500 is that it's a business grade card. It's intended to run business grade monitors, which means it's assumed it's only going to ever deal with DisplayPort. So it's actually got 4 display ports. Let's see if I can actually pause this. Ooh, I can. Cool. So it's got 4 display ports. Whereas the 950 has 3 display ports and an HDMI, which for normal consumers, that's going to be a preferable. And actually, I think this even had the old dual link DVI, which having that selection is going to be good for normal consumers. But for people such as myself that are generally going to be running higher end monitors, the more display ports I can get, the better. It's pretty rare that I actually need an HDMI port. I guess my 4K OLED, I guess, is probably the only circumstance I actually need an HDMI port. Let's see if they'll keep going. Oh, nope, wrong direction. Remote. I'm having fun with my toy. What can I say? So let's, let me see. yeah, let's get to some games, and that way you guys can get an idea of how capable this actually is. Because there seems to be some confusion that just because I tested Fortnite, anything else is gonna test like garbage, and that's not the case. I was actually really impressed. Again, the only one I wasn't impressed with was Jedi Survivor, but I was even able to get Jedi Survivor to a playable frame rate. And the other interesting thing is that I did not test it on a high-end CPU. So the initial testing I did, I believe the initial video was with my 13900K. This time we did our testing in a more realistic use case. This time we did the testing with crap, got confused there. An i9 9820X. I've got so many systems. I've got like 3 or 4 12th gens. The 9820X is actually the only older system I have. Everything else is quite a bit newer. So, but let's get to the testing, and I'll have some closing thoughts on my opinions on the card once we're done.
Okay, so I was requested to take a look at Red Dead Redemption 2 by a viewer. So this is kind of my first look. The settings are kind of complicated with this game, so there are a million freaking options. Let's see here. Let's start with. So I don't know why it doesn't let me. Okay, texture quality. I want us running at a medium level. Medium. 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 We got the FSR2 on at the lowest amount. Let's see what versions it has. Okay, so it's got performance, balanced, quality. Okay, we're going to leave it on the quality. Let's see. I think. Let's see here. It was a little dark. Okay. I don't even know why you would lock that. Let's see. This is just, for some reason it won't let me use the thing to just set it to medium, and I don't know why. Okay. Don't want that on. Let's turn that on. Yeah, this is just weird. There's going to be a lot of trees, so let's, I mean, this is a lot of stuff. Good grief. I'm not used to this. Right, so I'm going to guess we're going to tank the frame rate. Oh, okay. It still seems a little dark. I don't really know what's, Oh, look. Crackers. I like crackers. I had to stop keeping crackers in my apartment because if I have crackers, I'll just sit there and stuff my face with them because they're so good and they're so simple. Once you start, you can't stop. And even like the whole wheat ones become unhealthy pretty fast if you eat enough of them. Okay, so, to the person that wanted to see the W5500, Okay, so we are on Jedi Survivor. It's technically playable, barely. I had to upscale the hell out of it. Plus, I had to run at sub 1080. I did not want to do that.
So where are we going?
Let's take a look at the settings. So, how do I do it here? Visuals, okay. So we're running at 1760 by 990 native, and then we're upscaling on that. Honestly, I wish this had FX frame generation too, because that would be of help here. And everything is turned as low as it'll go, except I do like my wide field of view. So, obviously, I mean, like I said, we're looking at barely playable here. This is not pretty, but if you absolutely must play this game, and this is the video card you have at your disposal, it's not unplayable. And I wouldn't even say that the visuals are that badly compromised under these conditions. I mean, certainly it's not great, but it's not quite terrible either. It's meh. It's acceptable. There's nothing to call home about, though. Definitely, you're going to have to get past your aversion to having less than 60 FPS. If that's your thing, you're not going to be hitting 60 FPS. It's not happening here. Sorry.
Imperial's in the way.
You okay?
Okay, so we are on Hogwarts Legacy now. I'm seeing some pretty big frame rate fluctuations. I've seen as high as like over 100 and as low as like what we're seeing now, down to high 30s. So I'm still trying to figure out what the settings we should run at are. At the moment, we are running on high. So we are 1080p, running FSR2, and I am on the quality setting. And then as far as system settings, we are at high, which for Hogwarts is pretty impressive, to be honest. I think we're right at the edge of usable frame rate. I'm leaning towards lowering the settings before raising the FSR level, to be honest, in this case. Yeah, let's lower our settings. Let's lower down to the medium setting. Where are we? Okay, so let's drop us to... And it actually said that this was lower, or was higher than they recommended. Well, let's see what it does. That might get us exactly what we need. Alright, let's see what we get here. Been running all through this dang castle. I've only played this a couple times. Like, I have a vague clue what's going on in this game, but... I mean, it looks pretty good.
Professor, I'm glad to see you.
And I you. Thank Merlin you're in one piece. I heard about the attack.
Can
Trolls in
we
Hogsmeade?
skip this?
Sir,
I
the
don't
trolls
think I
were
can.
wearing armor. It had that dark glow like the dragon collar.
Goblin silver. Ranrock used it to control the dragon. But how? And why send trolls too?
They were there because of me. I overheard Ranrock talking with Victor Rookwood.
Ranrock was in Hogsmeade with Rookwood.
I did
The trolls
mess
were
around with
Ranrock's
this a
distraction
little
so that
bit
Rookwood could get
in
to him,
in
and he would
4K.
had Serona and the patrons at the Three Broomsticks not intervened.
Okay, so we are now on Horizon Zero Dawn. So frame rate's a little low.
Listen carefully now.
The interesting thing I found though on this one, when I went and looked at the settings, it defaulted to ultra for some strange reason. So we're gonna take a look. We're gonna go with let's just turn it all to high. We're this close to playable, so let's turn it to high. I'm not a fan of that. Okay, so
In the beginning,
Remember that brave got drunk and danced naked around the fire last year?
get down from there now.
Oh, that's just what you want, isn't it?
I think this is a game that just
does.
doesn't look
What
very
I'd
good
love
at
is for you to
lower
climb
resolution
down.
too.
You want.
Because I feel like it should look better for the settings that it's on. Let's see here. Let's leave that and let's guess let's just put it on medium.
Is for me to have no fun at all.
Yeah, looks like that's what we're gonna have to play to get the
Stay up on the roof all night if you want.
kind of performance that I want. Let's see if we can go find some scenery or something to see how good it actually looks, though. I'm definitely not a fan of the way the bushes and foliage and stuff looks. I think everything else looks okay, but I think I wonder if that's the FSR doing that. Let's see here. Let's kill this and see. Okay, so I think that might have been having an effect. Maybe.
Thank God, Mother.
Not that big though. It only made a small difference though on the actual frame rate, so it doesn't look like you actually really have to run that. Oh, cool. Okay, we're back outside. Oh, we have to like kill these things, I think. Oh, I got one. Okay, so it's definitely a little low on the frame rate.
Didn't get it.
But it's not bad. It's not terrible. Of the I guess 4 now, including Mirage, until the new one's released. Of the 4 fairly recent Assassin's Creed games, this is probably my favorite. There were things about Origins that I liked better. I definitely enjoyed the environment just a little bit better on Origins. But the thing with Origins is it wasn't as polished of a game as Odyssey, and there were just some quality of life things with it that could have been a little bit better. I did like the Egyptian environment though. I never really got into Valhalla. I was actually really excited for Valhalla originally, but I never really got into it. There was something about that environment that I just never really kind of grabbed onto. But Origins and Odyssey, the Mediterranean Middle East themes, I really liked. So this is running really well. So we are running so let's take a look. We are running 1080p resolution, and it is on the high setting. So you could go a little bit higher. I have found that generally speaking, typically the big difference is like when you go from the low to high, you see a big difference. There isn't usually that much of a visual difference between high and completely maxed out. So I think we're in just the right place here. So you've got plenty of room on the frame rate. It's running generally around 60, but it's got some room to drop down if it needs to go a little bit lower to keep running. But I'm in a fairly populous area here. That's part of the reason why I went into the city here, and it's running quite well. I'm honestly really impressed. I was expecting more like 1080p, maybe medium, maybe 50-55 FPS. I was not expecting high settings. Let's go find a battle.
Okay, so we're back. As I said at the opening, I've been very impressed. With the exception of one game. The Jedi Survivor is the only game that I saw that kind of result on. Everything else I've thrown at this card, it has performed exactly as you would expect a low-end modern gaming card to perform, which is really impressive because it's several years old. It's a workstation card, not a gaming card. And then on top of that, it's literally half the size of the smallest. So you take the absolute smallest gaming GPU that you can probably find, and then cut that in half. You literally split it in half. So it's a very interesting, form factor card, and has some particularly nice use cases. I'm going to be holding on to it because sometimes I would throw a card like this in a system and sell it, but I actually occasionally come up with situations where I need special form factor cards. I'll build a specialty system, whatever, and I need a powerful card, and it's hard to find a card like this. And I am always absolutely loath to spend. I mean, this card is 1080 Ti on the used market money. And for the use case that I have for it, it's not worth 1080 Ti money. So it'll be nice to have it around. Maybe I'll do some more testing and messing around with it. But I hope you guys find this interesting, and thanks for watching the video.